My name is Rhonda Richard Smith, and this is Charcuterie and Conversations with the Board Squad. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are looking forward to getting into a discussion about why it is we have such a hard time saying no. Why is that so difficult? So we're going to talk a little bit about it, but first we're going to talk about this incredible board that you brought, Delise. Can you talk a little bit about what's on the board?
Sure. So we have a little Norwegian salmon. Yes.
Salmon.
We haven't had that in a while.
We haven't. Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
It's time.
right?
Yeah.
It's time. And I also added, of course, a little salami
Yum.
and then some regular crackers. They're like Ritz, but they're from Trader Joe's.
I know the ones.
Yes.
I know the ones.
Okay.
They're very good. They're buttery and delicious.
They're so
Oh.
good.
Yes. And then we have a garlic naan cracker.
Oh, I love the garlic naan cracker.
My gosh.
That one I know.
Is that from Trader Joe's?
Yes.
Oh, yum.
Yes. This entire board, everything on this board is from Trader Joe's.
And the bread?
And the bread. So I got a little ciabatta bread and I cut it up,
Let's
put
go,
a little
Trader
butter on
Joe's.
that, toasted that in the toaster oven. We have a little cheddar, right? That has those yummy crystals inside of it.
I see some strawberries. What's
and then
happening
we
here?
have some chocolate covered strawberries.
Ooh.
Because
Trader Joe's?
well, the strawberries are from Trader Joe's. The chocolate is from Trader Joe's.
Oh.
But
You made it.
But I made it.
Yeah, of
Wow.
course.
Yes.
I'm impressed. I didn't know you
Yes.
make chocolate covered strawberries.
Gourmet cooking.
Yes.
What?
And then a little Boursin cheese.
Love it.
Right. And then also some basil.
I
Just
love
to give a
it.
little green.
I
Yum.
love it.
Yeah.
A little herb. Love it. Love it.
I know.
It looks so delicious.
Can't wait.
All right. So let's get into it.
Yes.
We're talking about why is it so hard for us to say no? And we know better.
We do.
And we know better.
We
With
do.
that caveat, right? We know better.
We do.
So show of hands. This week, who said yes to something when they really should have said no?
Yeah. I mean,
Guilty.
no hesitation. I'm guilty.
Guilty.
1,000%.
Guilty. And I feel like I'm a whiz. I feel like I'm pretty good with saying no.
Right.
But there are certain situations for me that'll trip me up. I feel like professionally, sometimes I have a really hard time saying no.
The children.
The children for you?
The children.
Yeah. For me, it's like, it just depends. Like, you know, it could be professional, it could be the kids, it could be family, it could be friends, right? Because my family for me are my extended friends here in LA.
Yeah.
So it just depends. You know, I want to do all the things and help all the people, but sometimes my battery gets run down and I just can't.
Right.
Yeah.
And we got to keep a full battery or as full as we possibly can.
Wait a
We got to
minute.
save some energy for ourselves.
Do you ever say no to friends?
I do. I do.
I don't know if you've ever said no to me.
Oh. Maybe we're in a very select, are we in a special club? Are we
Wait
in
a
a club?
minute.
You
Wait a
guys?
minute. Let's say I didn't say that because there might be friends who will be like,
I mean, no lies. But, you know, like we're all super busy. And I think we're blessed because we have friends who are doing so many cool and amazing things.
correct.
And I want to be at all the things, but I just can't. I want to say maybe it was COVID when I started figuring out like, no, I need to start saying no.
Well, I mean, we were so drained during COVID and so stressed out. And so I feel like for many of us, you had to learn to say no in many of those cases, just simply to survive. But where do you think that comes from originally? Like, can you think of a time in your childhood when you said no and everyone let it fly? Can you think of any situations like that where you tried to maybe say no and
Mm.
when it should have been respected?
I can, but I don't know that I'm going to say it without making some people mad.
Change the names to protect.
They're going to know. They're going to know. They're not going to know. They're going to know.
I was going to say change the names to protect the innocent, but
Right.
it's really protect the guilty.
Guilty.
They're going to know. I mean, I had a big problem with people pleasing.
Yeah.
My answer was yes, yes, yes. And then I would go through this process of, well, why do you have to do that? And I would be, you know, people would say, you're so difficult. Like, and it wasn't really difficult. I was being difficult. It was more so I should have said no in the first place. And now I was trying to backtrack and using everything in place of the initial no. I was
Mhm.
using everything, you know, to kind of get out of it. And then I just, you know, I told myself, you know, it would be easier for you if you would just tell people no. I will
Start with the no.
start with the no. I will say that when I did say no, I lost some folks in my life.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
It's meant to be.
I think for me, one that I remember was I used to be chairperson of the LA Watt Summer Games.
Oh.
And I was on the board of directors for the LA Junior Chamber of Commerce for a few years. And
Yes, she
it was a lot of work. It was a whole job, right? Like it was volunteer work, but it was a whole job.
But you did a
and
lot.
I was doing that in addition to my job. And I think after year 6, I was like, you know what? I can't do this anymore if I'm not getting paid.
Absolutely.
And so I kind of drew a line and said no. And they were like, okay, bye.
Wow.
And so I was like, I'm going to stick to my guns and I'm going to walk away. So good luck. Because I had to for my health.
You have to.
It was too much.
You have to.
I mean, it was a lot.
It was a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
And to not be compensated for it, it's
No.
It's, I mean,
It was the
you got
largest high
an
school
award?
competition in the country. It was crazy.
You got an
Wow.
award, right?
I got multiple awards. We got commendations from the mayor. But you know what? Mama was doing enough work for a check.
absolutely.
You were.
Yeah.
Wow. So, I mean, for me, when I think about people pleasing, I used to have you guys will probably be surprised to hear this. I'm like a reformed people pleaser.
It's hard.
I don't think I've ever actually said that to you guys.
That's
I don't know if
shocking.
you realize that.
Rhonda, tell a joke. Just kidding.
I am definitely a reformed
Wow.
people pleaser.
Okay.
I mean, I learned a lot about people pleasing in church. And so, you know, when it's your faith, right, that's on the line, or you're showing your devotion, right, as a Christian, I think my grandmother, for example, took that very seriously. She was there like almost every day.
Rhonda, join the usher
Almost
board.
every day. And every time they asked her to do something, she was doing Mission Sunday. She was doing Women's Day. She was doing, you know, she was a missionary. So she went all over the world and did that for many years. And so I saw her give a lot of herself.
Yeah.
I saw my grandfather's response to that as well, which is interesting because I think in some ways she said a lot of yeses to the church, and maybe he got dished a lot of no's as a result because she was so devoted, you know, when it came to showing up at church.
Got it.
So for me, that was normalized. So to be a people pleaser and just, you know, say yes and just take it on and take it on. I didn't grow up with that as the norm, saying no and setting those boundaries. My grandmother passed away unexpectedly. My mom, of course, we all took it really, really hard. My mom took it really hard. But I also think it really impacted my mom to see that right up until the end when she should have been resting, she just kept going. She kept going. She kept going. And it was so devastating to lose her in that way and to lose her unexpectedly on top of all of that. But I think that changed some. I mean, I'd have to ask my mom for sure, but my perception is that I think that really changed something for my mom. And so she went from like people pleasing, I could tell, to stepping back a little bit and starting to set some boundaries and starting to say no. So I'm thankful she had the courage to do that, because then that showed me like, oh, we don't have to get kind of like stuck in this people pleasing cycle.
Yes.
And so I think maybe that actually worked to my benefit, that she was able to see that. But, you know, we're adults now, right? We're out of childhood and sometimes we still struggle. Is there a particular situation that you can think of where you really consistently struggle to say no? And why do you think that is?
Well, for me, I guess in business, you know, as a event planner, when you're watching your couples want and need things, and you have the power to do it, or to call in a favor, or to do all the things, I still struggle with, oh my goodness, telling clients no. And I think it's definitely a thing that has eaten into my profit market, my profit margin, not market. And it's something that I now am faced with having to learn, and learn very quickly. What's interesting
those
is
special services.
those special service, and I'm
come with
not
a
talking
fee.
about
Yeah.
like,
yeah.
oh, here's an extra flower, here's an extra this, which that is a problem sometimes. But it's more, of your time, of the things that you
Mhm.
say yes to, that you really should just be saying no to.
Yeah. Yeah.
And and your time is money. And I don't think I ever grew up with equating my time with money.
I struggle with that too, because I remember professionally, I
Mhm.
was really, I was taking like some really low fees very early on, like we all do. I mean, when we start out,
Yeah.
but with time, as I started to learn and realize what people were actually making, I had to get a little more comfortable with dishing out more no's professionally. But when I did it, and when I did it with some consistency, that's when maybe I would get the job here or there. But I mean, it was like 10x what I was charging before.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, when I think about that, sometimes it's unbelievable. But it started with me saying no,
Yes.
Got it.
and learning to say no professionally, because that made room for the bigger, better paying projects long term. What would you say, Delise?
Woo. Man, there's so much. I mean, I have learned to say no to friends, but it's still hard because I want to show up for them, because for me, they're my family. So sometimes, like, if I know it is really important, then I will show up even if I'm dog tired. Work too.
Yeah.
I take on, especially now because my business is kind of upside down and so many people don't have resources. I have been partnering with people who don't have resources, and it takes up a lot of time, so
Yeah.
I'm trying to walk that back. My goal, one of my New Year's resolutions, is to take on less projects because I just don't have the space for it.
No, I think that's a great goal. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, so the other side of this conversation that I'm always interested in when we're talking about saying no is, how do you respond when someone tells you no? Because when you're someone who's always saying yes, you typically have the expectation that at least some of the time, other folks are going to say yes when you're calling on them to help you.
They're going to reciprocate.
Right. That's the expectation.
I don't have that expectation.
You don't. Really?
I do not have that expectation.
Really? Say more about that.
I don't expect for anybody to do anything for me because I said yes. I don't know why. I just don't. I think that part of it is that I've built up not wanting to be disappointed by that. So it's kind of like a tough.
Not even an expectation.
Not
really.
even an expectation.
Yeah.
Like they're not going to do it. It's kind of my. That is where my bottom line is.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
which is something else. That's another podcast.
Yeah.
So I don't ever expect anyone who I do something for to do something for me.
And I mean, I don't necessarily want it to be tit for tat either. Like, you also want to be doing to get something back in return, of course. But I mean, I think it's fair in relationships, in any relationship, there should be some kind of like mutual aid and support. Absolutely. You
agreed.
have to have reciprocity on some level. And sometimes we hit different seasons. So maybe we need a little more in one season and another person, needs a little more at another time. I think the challenge sometimes it can seem like certain people are always in a season.
Right.
And then if that's the case, when do you have the chance to...
I mean, no lies. I mean, I'm a Scorpio, and so
I'm
all
all
in.
I'm
all
all
in or all
Scorpios.
out. Yes, shout out to your husband.
Shout out to Anthony.
But there was a period of time when I was younger, and I don't want to say too much younger. You know what I mean? Like before COVID. No, let's say my 30s.
Okay, like your 30s.
Where my expectations were strong because my loyalty game was strong.
Yeah.
And so my commitment to you and how I poured into my friends it was 150% every single day. And so if I asked something of you and you could not show up or not do whatever it was, right? I would be pissed. I would be salty. And if I saw it happen to another friend where I was like, why can't you show up for this friend in the way that, so I was also the defender. Right. I wasn't always like, it wasn't always about me. I'd also be like, you need to show up for her. Why
I
did
do remember
you
you showing up for me in that way. I won't say names.
I will. I was definitely a protector in that way. And so as I've grown older,
yes,
and now where I understand the importance to say no on our mental health, our
Mhm.
physical health, all the things. Now I'm way more understanding. Way more
Absolutely.
understanding. Because I'm like, I get it. I have to say no too. So yeah, do you.
And I also think, I mean, to be honest, on some level too, the amount of no's that you get from someone, I also think can give you some additional information as well
Yeah.
in terms of where you're placing the relationship. You know, we all kind of have a
Mhm.
hierarchy when it comes to our relationships. So,
That's real.
you know, our family or whoever we're closest to, our chosen family, very close friends are usually going to be at the top of that list.
It's true.
And so, you know, if there's someone in your life that is always saying no, like 9 times out of 10, they're saying no versus you giving the 10s,
Yeah.
I think at minimum also gives you some information about where they have you in their lives. And that's just real. That's fair. We can't be everywhere for everyone that we love and care about 100% of the time. We just can't. It's not humanly possible for us to do that. And so you kind of have to set up this hierarchy. I remember having a situation where I said yes.
Mhm.
I said yes. It always comes back to that. I said
Mhm.
yes when I should have said no, and I truly should have. It was a really important day for them, but it also fell on, I don't know if it was like my anniversary, my birthday. Like it fell on like a really important day
Mhm.
where I had to kind of rearrange what I was going to do
Mm.
to celebrate that for myself, for this person. But I knew it was really important for them. I knew it was going to be jam-packed and I was going to have to run out of there. But I was like, you know, I want to be there for this person. You know, I care about that. I want to know. I did all of that. And I got really, really bad news. One of my best friends, her brother had passed away. I found out as I was parking. So again, I had to like push myself and say, well, again, I want to be there for this person.
Yeah.
And when I got there, they mistreated me. Yeah.
Rhonda.
And publicly a little bit.
Oh God.
Were you salty?
I mean,
I would have been
The
pissed.
I was shocked.
I would have been pissed.
I wasn't
Area.
salty at first.
Oh.
I was shocked.
Got it.
The bay didn't come out, right? The bay didn't come out.
I was blown
You were
away.
so shocked.
You were
yeah.
shocked. Okay.
But
Stunned into.
but I realized almost instantly,
Mm-hmm.
okay, that gives me an idea that maybe I was putting this person higher on my list. And maybe I wasn't at the top of their list. And it is what it is. It was a tough lesson to learn. I feel like that's the last time where I said yes to a friend when I really probably should have just said, hey, girl, I love you. I'm so sorry. You know, like I'm not going to be able to make it. I'm just not going to be able to swing it. I say yes when I really should have said no.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think it's so important to be strategic about. I mean, you don't have to say no to everything,
Mm-hmm.
but learning to be really strategic with your no is
Mhm.
incredibly important. And I think I was sharing with you guys a book I was reading, Essentialism.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why the author's name escapes me. But he was talking about Rosa Parks' story
Mm.
and her no being incredibly important historically.
Absolutely. Revolutionary.
And one of the things that I think we were talking about at one point was like sometimes people are a little afraid to say no.
Mhm.
They don't want the confrontation, the conflict that comes with saying no.
Absolutely.
Sometimes when people are like, "Why? Why are you saying no?"
That's right.
And you know, from what I understand, she was like really shy. She wasn't like you know, the kind of person who would say no to things. And so for her to pick that opportunity, that time, that moment to say no, it changed history.
That's right.
Absolutely.
And I think that if people take anything from saying no, they should take something from Rosa Parks.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Saying no will set you free.
Will set you free.
Thank you so much
1000%.
for joining us today for Charcuterie Conversations. Please be sure to follow us across all social media platforms and, you know, chime in if you have any thoughts or ideas or even tips or advice that you want to share with other followers and listeners. Please be sure to get into the comments and make all of those thoughts and suggestions clear. Thank you so much. Take care. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.